About the scarcity syndrome. Once there was a great philosopher called Socrates, and he went and he was standing outside a shoes shop, and he was just looking. If we go to Linking Road, have you gone to Linking Road? Anybody? Bandra? Thousands of shops, right, with shoes and chappals. And you can just go on admiring the different colors, varieties, shapes. As long as you don't have to buy, you can do window shopping, then you can be happy. So he was doing window shopping actually. He was just looking at the shoes from outside. So one of his friends came to him and asked him that, Socrates, do you want to buy any of these things? And is it that you are falling short of money? Can I help you in some way? I can lend you some money. So Socrates said, no, actually I was just thinking that there are so many shoes which I don't need. Because there are so many varieties and so many choices that we get actually bewildered. But if we think like Socrates, then we will be very relieved. There are so many things which we don't need. Now I have told this story many times to my daughters. I have a teenage daughter. I have a daughter who is just below teenage and a younger girl, third one. So I always tell them this story hoping that they'll get inspired, but they don't. When I go shopping with them, they are convinced that they need everything that they see. They want everything, and then I have a tough job convincing them that I can't afford to buy all those things. Right? They want this also, they want that also. And it's amazing how they are very happy when they come with me. They are not hungry, they are not thirsty, or it's not that they wanted something. But the moment they see it, they become disturbed. They become agitated. They feel their whole existence depends on buying that product. If we can't have it, then our life is wasted. We are not happy. But till few moments back, they didn't even know that product existed, and still they were happy. But the moment they see it, what happens? That want is created in the mind, and then they need to have it. So, all of us have wants. I am not talking about needs. I am not talking about basic needs. I am talking about what comes after the needs, right? The luxuries, which have become necessities in today's day. So we all have our wants. But in order to fulfill those wants, we need resources. We need money. We need wealth. So the resources are limited. We all know that. But the wants are unlimited. So what happens? When the wants are unlimited and the resources are limited, that results in scarcity. That's the only economics lesson we are going to learn today. Then we'll shift on to another subject. So scarcity means in Hindi you can say kami. It's when you don't have enough to buy what you think you want, then that is scarcity. So actually there are different types of scarcity. If you see, there is scarcity of energy, there is scarcity of water. But we are not going to discuss all those things today. Because scarcity by itself is a very vast subject. What I am going to discuss today is what is that scarcity which we are affected in our own lives on an individual basis, which scarcity affects us, why it affects us, and how we can solve the problem of scarcity in our own lives and in the lives of those who are near and dear to us. That is going to be the subject of our discussion today. So you might wonder, why are we talking about scarcity? How does it concern us? What is scarcity? So we understood what is scarcity. Generally, when we talk about scarcity, what is the picture that comes into our mind? Poverty, right? We might think of a starving child in Africa or a beggar on the streets of Mumbai. And naturally, we feel compassion. We all feel sorrow when we see somebody suffering. Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, once in Mayapur, he saw some street urchins fighting with stray dogs over some scraps of food which was in a garbage heap. Some food had been thrown and they were actually fighting with dogs to get that food. So Prabhupada started crying And he said that we must start prasadam distribution, we must start food distribution. At least within 1 kilometer radius of our temples, nobody should go hungry. So it's a natural tendency that we feel sorry when we see someone suffering because of abject poverty, because of lack of basic needs. So from henceforth, what the scarcity that we are discussing is not the scarcity of the basic needs. Those things have to be addressed and dealt with. How we can help with those, that we will be discussing in later part of the lecture. So I want to give you an example of what is scarcity in our own life. Supposing you need to buy a mobile, okay, and you go into a mobile gallery. You have with you in your pocket 1,500 rupees, which maybe your mother has given you or you have earned or whatever. And there is a mobile available for that much. But you want to buy a mobile, Samsung mobile, latest. All the facilities, email is there, everything is there, good connectivity, everything. But it costs 6,000. So now you are confused. What should I do? I want to buy this mobile, and you are convinced that you will be happy only if you get this mobile. If you don't get this mobile, you are going to be miserable. But you are not able to buy the mobile because you don't have the money. So that is scarcity. By the definition of economics, that is scarcity. Now, if you change your mind, if you decide, okay, this costs 6,000, it's beyond my budget, I don't need it. This phone which costs 1,500 is good enough. It has all the facilities that I need, and the extra facilities I can do without. Then you are not in scarcity. So, scarcity is a very, very relative term. It has more to do with our state of mind than the actual resources or the needs. Are you getting it? Are you all with me? Yeah. So, it is very, very relative. Now, let's take another aspect of scarcity. If we say that supposing I need something, I want something, normally small children are like that. I want something and I will be happy only if I get that. Otherwise, I will be unhappy. So, logically speaking, if scarcity is causing unhappiness, then abundance should cause happiness. The opposite of scarcity is abundance. That means when there is plenty of everything, then there should be great happiness and great satisfaction. However, it's not always so. Maybe for a little time it may be, but it soon fades off. Why? We will soon see. Statistics show that the US, United States of America, which is the wealthiest country in the world today, they have only 5% of the population of the entire world. How much percent? 5%. They are a minority population. But they are using the world's 25% of the world's resources for themselves. That itself shows you that they have lot of prosperity. There's abundance, there's plenty. In fact, there is wastage. There is so much wastage in America. Why? Because there's plenty. When there's plenty, then you're not sensitive. You're not conscious about the wastage, or you're not conscious that, oh, somebody elsewhere in the world is not getting anything, so I should not waste, I should be careful. In fact, there was one joke I heard that once one reporter went and he was surveying in different parts of the world, and he did a survey with one African, one European, one Chinese gentleman and an American. And he asked one same question to everyone, that what is your opinion about the food shortage in the rest of the world? What was the question he asked? What is your opinion about the food shortage in the rest of the world? So the African could not answer the question because he didn't know what is food, because he didn't have food to eat. The European could not answer the question because he did not know what is the meaning of shortage. Because there is so much abundance that They didn't have the concept that there can be shortage somewhere else. The Chinese person could not answer the question because he did not know what is the meaning of opinion. You know, China is a communist country, so they are not allowed to freely voice their opinions. And the American gentleman could not answer the question because he did not know what is the meaning of rest of the world, because they are in their own cocoon. So this country, which has only 5% of the world's population, is using 25% of the world's resources. But an astonishing statistic or a shocking statistic is that they are using 65% of the world's illegal drugs. 65% of the world's illegal drugs are being used in the US. Now we may wonder why. Because normally who are the people who will take drugs? Those who are unhappy, those who are unstable maybe, those who are dissatisfied, they would take drugs. If somebody is happy, why would they turn to drugs? But here they are. So that itself shows that merely having wealth or prosperity doesn't necessarily make you happy. This is testimony to prove that wealth does not bring happiness. So, we have so many examples that wealth doesn't bring happiness. Actually, I just heard a joke today when I was telling one of my friends that I'm speaking on this topic. So she just cracked a joke. So I would like to share it with you. It is like this, that money cannot buy happiness. Money cannot buy happiness. But before you speak this, be sure you have a lot of money in the bank, because nobody is going to listen to you. So even to be heard, you need to have money. So when we are saying that money does not buy happiness, we are not saying that we should not have money. We are saying that just having money cannot bring happiness. There are other things in life which contribute to our well-being, to our state of well-being, to our peace of mind. So those are the things we are going to be discussing. Whatever money is needed for fulfilling our basic needs, we definitely need. So we are not talking about being renunciates and leaving everything here. So if we consider the lives of those who are very wealthy, the rich film stars, the rock stars, musicians and so on, they are very wealthy. They have lot of money, but not necessary that they are all happy. Behind the razzle-dazzle, behind the glitter that we see, the parties and all the things that are going on, these people are very lonely at heart. They are very lonely, they are very insecure. There was one famous actress, wife of Shammi Kapoor. She got smallpox when she was sick, when she was quite young. And smallpox, as you may know, it's not prevalent now. Now there's only chicken pox. But smallpox leaves very deep scars, ugly scars on the face. And this lady was very beautiful. But this smallpox left scars on her face to such an extent, she just isolated herself. She stopped coming out of the house even. Because she was so beautiful and she didn't want people to give up that image of her. She wanted everyone to remember her as being beautiful. So, because they are attached to their beauty, they are attached to their fame, they become very insecure as they grow old. They feel now nobody will want us anymore. Nobody will love us anymore. Because all their so-called success is based on their material talents. So they are insecure. They are very lonely at heart. So many industrialists, many politicians, many sports stars, they have ended their lives in very pathetic ways. They have emotional problems. They have relationship problems, because of which sometimes they drink themselves to death. Many of them have taken overdose of drugs. Have you heard of Elvis Presley? A very, very famous singer. So Elvis Presley, it's said that when he would come on stage, women would just fall like this. He was so handsome. Ladies would fall. They would just tap, 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 tap. People would fall. He was so handsome and he would sing so well. People were crazy after him. But the same Elvis Presley, he took an overdose of drugs and he died. Why? He was not happy. For whatever reason, we don't know. But he was not happy. So, time and again, this fact is proved that just merely having a lot of wealth or prosperity does not bring happiness. We are having a small skit now. We are having a skit to show us what happens when we don't have wealth and suddenly we get wealth. What happens?
हे भगवान, काश मैं अपना नेबरिंग किंगडम कॉन्कर्ड कर पाता, और अगर कर पाता तो पूरे कंट्री का किंग कहलाता। उस एक किंगडम की वजह से, उस एक किंगडम की वजह से आज मैं पूरे कंट्री का किंग होते होते रह गया, उस एक किंगडम की वजह से। हे भगवान। मेरे सर्वेंट को क्या हो गया है? इसके पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है, ना तो प्रॉपर्टी ना तो घर, फिर भी ये इतना खुश कैसे दिखाई दे रहा है? क्या हो रहा है? मिनिस्टर, मिनिस्टर।
यस महाराज।
जरा इस सर्वेंट को देखो, इसके पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है, फिर भी ये इतना खुश क्यों लग रहा है?
क्योंकि महाराज उसने 99 क्लब ज्वाइन नहीं किया है ना, इसीलिए।
99 क्लब? व्हाट इज दिस 99 क्लब?
आप मुझे 99 गोल्ड कॉइन दो, फिर मैं आपको बताता हूँ।
आर यू श्योर?
यस महाराज।
ओके, आई ट्रस्ट यू।
थैंक यू महाराज।
In the home of the servant.
अरे, मैं इतना काम करके आया हूँ, थोड़ा खाना तो लेके आओ मेरे लिए।
हाँ ठीक है, 1 मिनट। ले लीजिए। कैसा बना है?
अरे वाह, ये भिंडी की सब्जी कितनी स्वादिष्ट है।
आपको अच्छी लगी?
बहुत अच्छी। थोड़ा पानी भी ले आओ ना।
ये लीजिए।
अरे, अब कौन आया है?
आप बैठिए, मैं देखती हूँ। अरे, यहाँ तो कोई नहीं है।
कौन आया है?
अरे, कोई है नहीं, पर ये पोटली है।
इसमें क्या है?
क्या मालूम।
चलो देखते हैं। गोल्ड कॉइन्स?
बाप रे,
शायद किंग ने भेजा होगा मेरे लिए। मैं इतना
वाह।
काम जो करता हूँ।
बहुत मेहनत करते हैं आप तो।
चलो हम इन्हें गिने।
चलो चलो।
1 2 3 4 96 97 98 99। अरे, 99 गोल्ड कॉइन्स? एक और होना चाहिए।
हाँ हाँ, ढूंढो ढूंढो। अरे, मुझे लगता है आपको गिनती नहीं आती है।
नहीं नहीं, मैंने देखा है। चलो तुम गिनो।
आप रहने दो, कुछ काम के नहीं हो आप, और बोलते हो राजा के वहां अच्छा काम करता हो। 20 40 60 80 90 93 95 98 99? अरे ऐसे कैसे?
लेकिन 99 कॉइन्स कैसे हो सकते हैं? इतने राउंड फिगर भी नहीं है। 100 कॉइन्स तो देते हैं सब।
मुझे लगता है आपने कुछ किया होगा, आपने बराबर मेहनत नहीं की, इसलिए राजा ने एक
ऐसा
कॉइन कम
कैसे
लिया।
हो सकता है? तुमने कहीं गिराया होगा, तुमने ये बैग लाया है ना यहाँ पर।
मैं तो वो बैग ऐसे लेके आई हूँ, मैंने नहीं गिराया।
तुम्हारी ही गलती होगी। चलो देखे हम कहाँ हैं।
अरे किधर भी नहीं है। राजा ने जरूर आपको 99 कॉइन्स ही दिए हैं।
लेकिन 99 कॉइन्स वो कैसे दे सकते हैं? कहीं तुमने तो वो कॉइन अपने मायके वालों के लिए नहीं रख लिया?
मायके वालों को मैं क्यों दूंगी?
मुझे तुम्हारी जांच करनी है।
आप अपनी पत्नी पे शक कर रहे हो?
तुमने ही कुछ गड़बड़ की है। 99 कॉइन्स आ ही नहीं सकते। तुम वहां पहले गई थी, तुमने ही वो एक कॉइन निकाला होगा।
आहा, खुद इतनी कम मेहनत करते हो, एक कॉइन भी बराबर नहीं कमा सकते, 99 कमा के लेके आए। एक कॉइन ज्यादा होने से, ज्यादा मेहनत करते तो एक कॉइन और ज्यादा आता था। खुद की गलती तो देखते नहीं हो, बस मुझ पे चिल्ला रहे हो। मेरे माइको वाले को मैं
अरे,
देख रही, ये सब क्या है? आप जाके राजा को बोलो, मुझ पे क्यों चढ़ रहे हो?
उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे।
Next day in the king's palace.
ये इसे क्या हो गया है अब? कल
इतना
तक तो
काम-
बहुत खुश लग रहा था।
इतना काम करना पड़ता है मुझे यहाँ। ओवर टाइम के लिए एक्स्ट्रा पैसे तक नहीं मिलते।
इसे हो क्या गया है? कल तक तो ये इतना खुश लग रहा था। लगता है मिनिस्टर से ही पूछना पड़ेगा। मिनिस्टर, मिनिस्टर,
कितना गंदा करके रखा है यहाँ पे सब।
ये इसे हो क्या गया है? कल तक जो आदमी इतना खुश लग रहा था, आज इसे अचानक से क्या हो गया है?
क्योंकि महाराज उसने अब 99 क्लब जो ज्वाइन कर लिया है।
99 क्लब? व्हाट इज दिस 99 क्लब?
मैं आपको समझाता हूँ 99 क्लब होता क्या है। जैसे कि आपके पास इतना राज्य है, इतना घर है, इतना प्रॉपर्टी है, फिर भी आप उस एक किंगडम की वजह से इतने अपसेट थे, इतने दुखी थे। उसी तरह से ये नौकर भी, उसके पास 99 गोल्ड कॉइन्स है, लेकिन सिर्फ एक गोल्ड कॉइन की वजह से वो अपसेट रहता है। जैसे कि आप, कुछ बात समझ में आई?
हाँ, आ गई। और आप लोगों को भी बात समझ में आ गई ना?
वेरी गुड। So we saw that he was actually more peaceful when he had little, right? He was nicely eating bhindi sabji made by his wife. But the moment the money came, he became miserable. So we don't deny that money or wealth brings power. It does bring power, it does bring influence along with it. But if it is not used rightly, it cannot bring joy. If we do not give priority to family, to relationships, to values, to service, and use that money for the right purpose, then that same money which was meant to bring happiness will bring misery, as we saw in this drama. They actually start fighting. Money is actually, it brings clash, it brings fighting, it brings misery along with it if it is not used properly. So why is it? Why is it that even when there is money, we cannot be happy? Because along with that wealth comes insecurity, loneliness, and hankering. Hankering for more, as we saw just now. One who has 10 crores, he wants 20 crores. Somebody has 20 crores, he is competing with somebody else, he wants 40 crores. Nobody is happy. Once a wealthy man came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I can't sleep at night. I have so many factories which I have to take care of. I'm in too much anxiety. So Prabhupada gave a very simple solution. He said, give all the factories to us. You can sleep peacefully. He never came back again to Srila Prabhupada. He went away. So those who have a lot, they are insecure unless they are devotees of the Lord. If they are devotees of the Lord, then they are peaceful. But otherwise, they are always insecure. They are insecure that somebody will take away what they have. So there is one story that once one man was drowning in the water. So they were in a boat and he fell into the water. So somebody said, give me your hand, I'll pull you out of the water. So he was not giving his hand. So his son was also in the boat. So he told the other man, that don't tell him to give his hand. He has never given anything to anybody all his life. So he cannot give his hand. You tell him, take my hand, then he will take. And sure enough, when he said, take my hand, the man held his hand and came. So that is generally the mentality. If you have more money, in fact there's another part which they didn't enact, that this man actually started becoming very strict with his family. He said, from tomorrow don't make bindi. We will save money and buy one more gold coin so that we can make this 100. Means they were so poor, but now he became ambitious. I have 99, I have to make it 100. So we have to save. Once I was buying vegetables from my bhaji wala, and that time tomatoes were very expensive. It had reached to 40 or 45 rupees a kilo. So I was trying to bargain with him, and he was not reducing the price. So I said, it's so expensive, who is going to buy from you? So he said, by the end of the day, all my wares are sold off. So I said, कौन लेता है आपसे? He said, भाभी गरीब लोग ले लेते हैं, उनको थोड़ी बंगला बांधने का है. He said, the rich people, they bargain. When we go and we put our carts in the market in the evening, the poor people, they come, they buy and they go. They don't argue so much or bargain, because what they earn today, they spend today. They are not very ambitious that they want to buy a bungalow in Lonavala or they want to go on a vacation to Switzerland. They are simple, so they buy. So actually, it's not that when you have more money, you are happy or you are more charitable when you have more money. It is a matter of our consciousness. If our consciousness is proper, then we will be happy under any circumstances. We hear so many times in the paper, our Indian students are very intelligent, right? So when they go abroad, they do very well. They go to America, they go to Australia, they do very well for themselves. But are those countries happy? No, they are hostile. Recently we have read about attacks in Australia on Indian students. Why? Because the people there are insecure. If these people start doing well, then what will happen to us? But actually there are so many resources. In Australia, the population is so less as compared to India. But still they are insecure. In America, they are insecure. That's why they are not giving visas, right? They are insecure. If all these people come here, we will have to share our prosperity and our opulence with them, then what will happen to us? Actually, there is no problem. It's enough to share. But that mentality of hoarding, that mentality of keeping for themselves, that is why then you cannot be happy. Many times people who are very, very well off, they can't have good relationships with others. Why? Because they can't trust people. Why can't they trust people? Anybody can guess? Why? Because if you are very rich, somebody is making friends with you, you are not sure. Are they making friends with me because they want to be friends with me? Or they are making friends with me because they want to access my wealth? So that is why they can't trust. And then they become lonely. That's what happens with very rich film stars and rock stars. They become lonely because they sort of isolate themselves from the rest of the crowd. So that's why it's not that those who are having lot of wealth are necessarily happy. They are competing. They are competing with others. So much tough competition, right? We see the story of Ambani, Dhirubhai Ambani, poor fellow. He left a legacy for his sons and men. But what are the sons doing? They are fighting with each other. There's so much. 20 generations can live without working. But still they are fighting. They are fighting over the wealth that their father has left. So we see that wealth generally, not necessarily, will bring happiness. So those who are poor, we saw that they are suffering. The beggars, the orphans, they are suffering. Those who are very rich, they are also suffering. Then what about the middle class? They must be happy. Are they happy? No. They are not happy. They are trying to go in the upper class. So nobody is happy. Then who is happy? That we will come to later on. There was a survey done in Germany. Germany is supposed to be one of the most disciplined nations. They are very disciplined. They have clean roads. Everything is done perfectly. But when a survey was done, it was found that they are very, very lonely. They feel very, very lonely. They don't have good relationships. They have a lot of psychiatric problems, emotional problems, and so on. Again, Japan. Japan is one of the most successful nations, right? Most of the management companies try to emulate the work culture which is in the companies in Japan because they are so successful in delivering the goods. But they are not happy. The maximum suicide rate is in Japan because everybody is under so much pressure. Even students, right from a very young age, they are under so much pressure to get good grades, to do well so that they can compete. Even in India we are seeing, it's happening here also now. So the rate of suicide in India has gone up. Why? Because they have this concept that if I cannot be materially successful, then my life is not worth living. But it's not like that. It's not that only if you are materially successful you can be happy. You can have so many other ways to contribute to society. Even though you may not be able to give money or you may not be able to do something big, but there's so many other ways you can contribute to society. But people have lost sight of this concept of being happy in other ways. Prabhupada used to tell one story about one lady. She had fever. She had 100 degrees fever. Okay? And she called the doctor to treat herself, to treat her. And it so happened that on the very same day, her maid servant also got fever. So the doctor checked the temperature of both. So the mistress, the mem sahib, she had 100 degrees and the servant had 103 degrees. So the mistress got very angry. How dare she? How can she have 103 degrees when I have only 100 degrees? So the doctor said, you have called me to cure you or what? Why do you want to have more fever? Fever is a sign of disease. It's a sickness. It's a symptom of being in a diseased condition. So why do you want more fever? But that is the state of society today. Everybody wants to have that fever. And what happens? We become envious of others who have that fever. Oh, you have 103 degrees fever. Oh, very good. Very advanced. Very materially successful. 104, more advanced. 107, oh, you are in delirium. Very good. Most advanced. You have 2 cars, I want 3 cars. He has 5 cars, I want 6 cars. He has 1 house and I will buy 2 houses. She has 2 phones, I will buy 4 phones. Constantly competing, constantly increasing the fever. Because we are thinking by having higher fever, we will be more happy. But does anyone ever become happy by having more fever? No, you just become more and more diseased. You just become more and more agitated. So, although people feel that material attachments or material prosperity are a measure of success and happiness, we firmly believe that it is not. Material gadgets, material prosperity cannot by itself, of course, those facilities might help us in doing our service, they might help us in living our life a little more comfortably. But it's not the all in all, it's not an end in itself to bring happiness. So we see this type of fever everywhere, right? Are you all seeing it? Do you see it? Neighbors envy, owner's pride. If you are able to somehow make your neighbor envious of you, then you feel you are successful. Everybody should be envious of me. Everybody should know what I have, what I own. Then I am successful there. So we see this fever everywhere. And to add to the confusion, so many choices. So many choices. There are so many types of cars, so many types of mobiles, so many types of toothpaste when you go in the market, and so many types of TV channels. Maximum fights happen over TV channels. Do you know that? Among siblings. When we were small, there was only one Doordarshan. And there used to be Kill Bill, Santa Kukudi, simple programs used to be there. And once in a week, there used to be a movie shown on Sunday. And maybe entire family would sit. But now there are so many channels, children fight. I want this channel, I want that channel. And they fight over it. Where is the harmony? Where is the peace? So the more you have, more fighting. Or else you end up having 2-3 TV sets in one house, so that each one can see their own movie program, which means you don't interact with each other at all. When guests come to your house, you look at them you give them dirty looks, because then you can't see your favorite TV program. And in the Shrimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned that when you look at guests with angry looks, when you die, you go to one hell, and there are birds which look at you in the same way, and then they come and poke you. So Atithi Satkar is actually Indian culture, but because of TV, it's been totally destroyed. And now with more and more channels, it's completely gone. Forget taking care of guests, they don't even want to look at each other. The mother is sitting, seeing her, kabhi saas bhi, bahu bhi saas thi, saas bhi kabhi bahu thi. The father is watching some sport, the children are watching something else. There's no interaction, there's no relationships left. So the more you have, the more you suffer. I remember my mother telling me about one movie when I was small. Yehi Hai Zindagi. It's about a man who is working in one hotel. And he's poor, he's not very rich. He has 3 children and he's happy. He's a contented man. But he always feels, my children are so sincere, they are so hardworking. I wish I had little more money. Then I could have given them better facilities to study and more comforts. So he buys a lottery ticket, and by some arrangement of destiny, he wins. He gets lot of money. And the whole movie is about what happens to him when he gets that money. The entire family life becomes disrupted. Earlier, the wife used to cook, make hot food for her husband, serve her husband. They would all sit together and eat. Now there are servants cooking. The wife is going for kitty parties. The son is going for horse racing. The daughter is gone for parties with some boy. He is miserable. He cries. He says, I don't want this wealth. I never knew that wealth will bring all these things. I want my family back. I want that loving relationships which we had with each other. There are no relationships left anymore. And that brings frustration. Because what we need ultimately is love. Mother Teresa once said that in this world, many people are hungry. Out of those, some are hungry for food because they are not getting basic needs. But most of the people are hungry for love. Because when there is love, then you don't experience scarcity. So we will see one small skit which illustrates this. Till they come, I'll just tell you another thing, that the advertising industry is creating more and more wants, right? As I said, my kids, when they see something, then they feel they want it. Till then, they didn't even know it existed. So the advertising industry is creating more and more wants. Buy this, buy that. If you buy our products, you will be happy. And you don't have money to buy, no problem. That also we will solve. How? Easy loan facility. Very, very small EMIs. You have student loan, you have jewelry loan, you have car loan, you have home loan. Name it, you have a loan for everything. So what happens when you take the loans, we will see. Haribol, start.
Oh, honey! Honey, I'm having a fantastic idea!
Darling, idea?
Yes! Let's go for shopping. What say?
Shopping?
Yeah.
Today?
Yes, I'm having a mood to shop. Please.
Why today?
Darling, there is no day and there is no day, no time for shopping. You can go anytime. You know, malls and shops are open for us.
Every day you have a mood for shopping, darling.
You're earning now. Then when you will spend and where you will spend.
All right, let's go.
Oh, okay. Honey,
Oh, we've come to the mall.
wow. Dobong style. Darling, let's go.
Yeah, let's go for shopping.
Okay. Wow! See this! Darling, what do you think? Isn't this nail polish so sweet?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nail polish sweet कैसे हो सकता है? Yes, yes, darling, very sweet.
Thank you so much. Please give me $500 for this nail polish.
500?
Yeah.
इतनी सी छोटे बॉटल के लिए मैं तुम्हारे लिए एशियन पेंट्स का डब्बा भी इसे सस्ते में लाके दे सकता हूँ.
Darling, honey, you're so unclassy.
Unclassy.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
those skirts and tops are so pretty there for you. Let's see them.
Okay. My husband is looking for skirt for me. Wow. How's this skirt?
Nice it is. See that one?
Yeah. How is this?
तुम पर तो सभी अच्छा लगता है.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. And what about this top?
Oh God. Yeah, that one.
Okay. What are you doing, darling?
Look at this watch. It will look
What?
so good on me, na?
Yeah, this is very nice watch. 20,000 rupees. You are ready to get 20,000 rupees watch for yourself, but you can't buy 500 rupees nail polish for myself.
Oh, come on. It's just a nice watch. I really like it.
Yeah, I liked it. Even you liked my things, but you're not ready to buy that for me.
Come on, darling.
Oh, my boring husband.
I wish we could buy whatever we wanted for both of us.
Actually. See this.
Hard
Advertise.
Kardi credit cards? What's
What?
this advertisement?
कार चाहिए या घर चाहिए, सोफा चाहिए या फिर इंपोर्टेड नेल पॉलिश चाहिए, स्वाइप कीजिए हथकरदी क्रेडिट कार्ड और घर ले जाइए मनचाहे उपहार.
Wow! It's awesome! Don't you think this advertises for us?
It is exactly for us.
Wow!
Shopping and no kharcha, no paisa.
And now you can get your watch and I can get my nail polish, skirts and tops.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's buy. First my nail polish.
Yeah, yeah. Take it.
Okay. I'm taking 5.
5? Okay, take it, take it.
Thank you,
We
thank
don't have to pay the money right now.
And my skirts. Can I get all?
All?
Yeah.
That's too much, don't you think?
Okay. 3.
Okay, take how much ever you want.
Okay. This is nice.
I'm taking my watch and this tie. Oh, it's lovely.
He's just busy with his watch. Okay. So, where's the cash counter?
Credit card.
Oh, I forgot.
Come on.
Okay.
Just swipe it. Yeah, take it. Wow, we've done so much shopping today.
Wow, I'm so happy. And darling,
Come on.
I love you, darling.
Oh.
You're so good.
I know that. Thank you.
Okay.
A month later.
Oh God, how much money do we have to pay now? So many installments are left.
So many installments.
How come installments?
Oh God, darling, you don't even know that much. We bought everything on credit card.
So what?
So what? We have to give installments now. We have to pay the money to them.
Money.
Our credit card period is getting over. Come on.
Honey, money. So,
What to do?
now who's calm?
I'll see.
Okay.
अरे मासी जी, आप
मासी जी
कैसे?
क्यों? मुझे देख के खुशी नहीं हुई?
बहुत खुशी हुई मासी जी।
पैर तो पड़ो, कुछ संस्कार वंस्कार है कि
है
नहीं?
ना मासी जी?
चलो चलो। और सब ठीक तो चल रहा है ना?
अच्छा है मासी जी। आप कितने दिन तक रहने वाले हो मासी जी?
मैं तो छुट्टी मनाने आई हूँ, 2-3 महीने रहूंगी आराम से।
2-3 महीने? इसका खर्चा कौन उठाएगा?
क्यों?
हाँ, नहीं नहीं मासी जी, आप आए अच्छा लगा, सोचा जाने की टिकट निकालवा देते अभी। चलेगा चलेगा।
उसकी टेंशन मत लो बेटा, मैं बता दूंगी।
कुछ लाओ मासी
अरे,
जी के लिए।
इतनी हट्टी कट्टी तो है मासी जी।
कुछ है कि नहीं? तुम्हारी माँ ने कुछ संस्कार सिखाया कि नहीं?
माँ ने तो बहुत संस्कार दिए थे, मैं लेना भूल गई।
वो दिख ही रहा है बेटा।
तुम कुछ लेके आओ, उनके खाने पीने का इंतजाम करो।
से यही बोले जा रहा, खाने पीने खाने। अरे कुछ लाएगा?
पानी पी लीजिए मासी जी।
पानी वानी नहीं चाहिए, कुछ चाय पकौड़े वकौड़े का इंतजाम करो। बहू, इतने दूर से मैं आई हूँ।
मासी जी
जब देखो तब बिस्किट पानी खिला रहा है। कुछ चाय पकौड़े, समझ में आता? चाय पकौड़े बिस्किट पानी में डिफरेंस?
मासी जी खाना खा के भी नहीं आई।
जल्दी, बहुत भूख लगी है।
ये लीजिए मासी जी चाय।
ये क्या?
जला दिया मुझे।
सोफे पे चाय गिरा दी।
मासी जी
उसके अभी भी 2 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स बाकी है मासी जी।
क्या मासी जी, आपको इतना सभी समझ में नहीं आता?
अच्छा कोई बात नहीं मासी जी, आप अब जाइए, अब थोड़ा हाथ धो लीजिए। ये सोफा, चलो हम इस सोफे को अभी साफ कर दे।
बेटा, मैंने अभी फ्रिज में पनीर देखा है, पनीर मक्खन वाला बना दूं?
अभी इसको मक्खन वाला खाना है।
बहू, बनाओगी कि नहीं?
मासी जी पनीर भी मैंने क्रेडिट पे लाया है।
हे भगवान, तुम लोगों को खाना हो तो खाओ, मैं तो चली बनाने।
मासी जी बाद में बना देना ना।
नहीं नहीं, मैं अभी जा रही हूँ, वरना तुम बोलोगे नहीं नहीं।
मासी जी खर्चा कर रही है अभी से, इंस्टॉलमेंट भी नहीं भरा है।
कैसे बच्चे हैं, हे प्रभु, कहाँ ला के रख दिया मुझे। घोर कलयुग दिख रहा है यहाँ पे तो मुझे।
क्या हुआ?
ये क्या?
क्या हुआ मासी जी?
बर्तन तो नहीं चला दिया?
हाँ
नहीं नहीं, बर्तन के 5 इंस्टॉलमेंट बाकी है।
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
हाँ।
जब देखो तुम्हें बर्तन कपड़े की पड़ी है वापस।
अरे लेकिन
ओह, वो तो धो लो मासी, हो जाएगा।
बर्तन
और मेरा पनीर भी वेस्ट कर दिया। अब क्या?
क्या है?
कितना?
चीज इंस्टॉलमेंट में। हे भगवान, ये लो 50 लाख का चेक, और शान से जियो। हर चीज क्रेडिट मत करते रहो प्लीज, मुझे नहीं अच्छा
मासी जी
लग रहा है।
कितने अच्छे हैं, चलो पैर पड़ते मासी जी।
खुश रहो, क्रेडिट पे सामान लेना बंद करो।
ओके मासी जी, अब तो आप दादी मौसी भी बन सकते।
हाँ मासी जी, अब हम आपकी पोती को घर ले आ सकते हैं।
हाँ मासी जी।
मतलब?
इसका मतलब ये है कि हमने डिलीवरी भी क्रेडिट कार्ड पर की थी, और डॉक्टर ने कहा कि सारा पैसा भरने के बाद ही हम अपने बेटी को घर ला सकते हैं। थैंक यू मासी जी, थैंक यू।
हे भगवान, और कुछ किया है क्रेडिट पे तो बता दो इसी टाइम पे, न तो अटैक पे अटैक आ रहे हैं। इतना हे भगवान, हद कर दी।
So they don't realize that in the name of credit, they are getting more and more entangled. They feel everything is coming easily, but they are getting more and more entangled. In fact, sometimes they work so hard in order to get the facilities, and then they don't even have the time or energy to enjoy. I remember one of my friends' mother, the husband, wife, both were working, and in the evening she would come home, cook, do everything, and they had just bought a video on installment, on credit. And they would put on the video, she would sit on the sofa to see the video and she would fall asleep. Because she would be so tired working the whole day. So whole day you are working, but then you have no time to even enjoy those very things that you are working for. So you don't have relationships, you don't have time to spend with your family, you don't even have time to go home, and you have no time for God, definitely. So then where is the question of happiness? There is no happiness. Because happiness is not connected to your economic status. Happiness is, again I mentioned earlier, it is dependent on your state of consciousness. If you have little, you may not be happy. If you have more, you may not be happy. So what happens is, the problem is not having a little or more. The problem is, ye dil mange more. More and more. So unless that hankering for more stops, we cannot be happy. So we are not against having wealth. We are not against having opulence. But if we should not be having that hankering to get more and more, that greed to accumulate more and more and more, it's like a whirlpool. It just sucks you in. You cannot be happy. In fact, one poet has said that if you use all the oceans in the world as ink, and you use all the trees as pens, and you use the entire sky as paper to write down the list of your desires, he says the oceans will dry up, the trees will be used up, and the entire sky will be filled, but still our list of desires will not end. So this is totally contradictory to our Vedic culture. Our Vedic culture tells us that we have to be satisfied with what we have. We have the classic story of Vaman Dev, where Vaman Dev comes to Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj, being a king, wants to give him charity. He says, please ask for something, O Brahmana. So Bali Maharaj is shocked, because Vaman Dev says, I want only 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj says, I am a king of the 3 planetary systems and you are asking me for 3 steps of land. I can give you anything. So Vaman Dev, he mentions this immortal statement. He says, my dear king, if one is not satisfied with what one has at this moment, then one will never be satisfied. If you are not happy with what you have now, believe me, you will not be happy even when you get more. Because happiness is a state of consciousness. If one is satisfied with what one has now, then one will be satisfied in any situation. So the Vedic culture was very clear. In earlier days, people lived very simple lives. They lived a life of God consciousness, with God in the center. So there was never any scarcity. There was never scarcity, because the Lord provided everything for them. Wherever there is Narayan, there has to be Lakshmi. Lakshmi and Narayan, they always go together, right? So when you are worshipping the Lord will naturally provide everything that you need. We have the story of Tukaram, beautiful story. That Tukaram, he is guarding the fields and he is absorbed in singing glories of the Lord. And somebody who is envious of him purposely sends wild bullocks into the field to destroy the crop. So the field owner comes and tells Tukaram that you have destroyed my field. What will I do now? I am going to take over your house now. To do bharpai karne ke liye, means to pay for whatever losses I have incurred. So Tukaram, he just prays, he says, whatever you wish, you do. So then this man, when the grain is being harvested, whatever little is there, it is being harvested, and he comes to see how much grain is there, and he's shocked. the harvest that year is 10 times more than any other year. He's shocked. And in that movie, they actually show, the Lord is standing, Vittala is like this, and the heap of grain is just increasing. So he goes and touches Tukaram's feet, and he says that, you are not an ordinary person. The Lord is protecting you. The Lord is helping you. So he sends lot of grains to Tukaram's house. But there also Tukaram shows his exemplary quality of what a devotee is. People start coming, begging alms, and he gives away practically everything. He doesn't keep it thinking that, it will be useful for next 10 years, I can use this grain. He gives everything. Because when somebody believes in the Lord, when somebody believes that the Lord is the supplier, then where is the question of anxiety? If the Lord has provided for me today, He will provide tomorrow also. हाथी को मन भर देता है, चींटी को कण भर देता है, वही भगवान हमारी सुधि लेता है. The elephant in the forest, he eats tons of food. Who supplies? How does the ant come to know that some sugar is fallen somewhere? They have such a system. One small grain of sugar or sweet, mithai is fallen, and immediately you will see ants swarming around it, trying to eat. How do they know? Because the Lord in the heart guides them. It is the Paramatma in the heart who guides everybody. My husband is a dentist. So once I asked him, there is one area in Ghatkopar where there are many dentists. So I say, how do they survive? So many dentists in one place, sabka business hota hai kya? He said, yeah, everybody is doing very well. We see so many jewelry shops in Zaveri Bazaar, but everybody is doing well. How? Because the Lord sends. When a customer comes, how does he know where to go? The Lord, the Paramatma in the heart guides. Okay, you go here. Okay, you go there. So it is the Lord who is supplying. Whatever we need, it is being supplied by the Lord. If we have this consciousness, then we will never experience scarcity in our life. Because whatever we have, we will use in the Lord's service, and the Lord will supply whatever we need. So when I know who is the overall supplier, then I will not be greedy and I will not be selfish. Why are people selfish? Why are people greedy? Why are they insecure? Because they are worried. If I give to somebody, my hand will become empty. I have worked hard to get all this money. I have achieved all this material prosperity. When there is the I, then the selfishness, then the greed, and automatically unhappiness comes. But when you understand that the source of my income is not the source of my maintenance, it is not my income which is maintaining me, it is the Lord who is maintaining me. When you understand it is the Lord who supplies whatever you need, then you give. Because you know that my hand will not be empty. There is a higher power who is filling my hand. So when I give to others, I will receive. That is the energy. That when you give, you receive. Whether you give money, or you give your service, or you give yourself, you give love. Whenever you give love to others, whenever you serve others, whenever you help others, then you will receive. And then you will be happy. Then there will be no scarcity. Why? Because scarcity, the mindset of scarcity is like you have a bag with a hole at the bottom and you are trying to fill it. If you have a bag with a hole, what will happen? How much ever you put in it, it will still be empty. So if we are not God conscious, if we are not conscious about the Lord being the provider and the maintainer, then we will always have this scarcity mindset. We will never feel that what we have is enough. So we actually end with this small drama which shows what is the power of giving. How we can actually overcome this scarcity consciousness by sacrificing for others, by giving others. And in giving we will receive. By giving we will become happy.
अजी सुनिए, खाना तैयार, आपका ब्रेकफास्ट तैयार है।
ठीक है, ले आओ।
ये लो।
ठीक है। आज इतना सारा खाना क्यों?
वो क्या है ना, आज हमारी पहली शादी की सालगिरह है ना, इसीलिए।
ओह सॉरी।
इट्स ओके।
वाओ, दिस इज माय फेवरेट डिश।
कैसा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा है, थैंक यू।
ये बार बार थैंक यू बोल के ना मुझे शर्मिंदा मत करो, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता।
अच्छा ठीक है, ठीक है, मेरा खाना हो गया, अभी मैं ऑफिस जाता हूँ।
ठीक है।
है?
सुनिए,
हाँ।
शाम को ज़रा जल्दी आइएगा।
ठीक है। वेयर इज माई टाई? इज माई कोट? टुडे इज अवर एनिवर्सरी। मेरी वाइफ कितनी स्वीट है, एनिवर्सरी मैं भूल गया, स्टिल वो मुझ पे गुस्सा नहीं हुई और उसने मेरे सब मनपसंद चीज़ें बनाई और वो भी इतने प्यार से मुझे खिलाई। ऐसी वाइफ नसीब वालों को मिलती है। वाओ, आई एम सो फॉर्चुनेट, बट आई शुड गेट समथिंग फॉर माई वाइफ। कुछ तो लाना चाहिए मुझे अपनी वाइफ के लिए। What should I get for her? She is having such a long hair. Yes, I can get hair products and hair clip for her. She will like it, definitely. Okay. Okay. So, I don't have money. Now what to do? What to do? But I love my guitar. I love my guitar a lot. It's like when I play my guitar. No, 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 no. Yes. No. Are yes. Okay, I'll sell that guitar for my wife, and from that money, I'll buy her hair products and clips. Yes. Okay. Where's my guitar? Okay.
As you all know, today is my first wedding anniversary. क्या गिफ्ट दूँ मैं अपने हस्बैंड को? What will make my husband smile? What should I gift him? Watch? Nah. उनके पास बहुत वॉच है. Shoes? Nah. What my husband love? क्या उनको पसंद है? Oh yeah. My husband love guitar, but he don't have guitar case. Oh yeah, good idea. मैं उनके लिए गिटार केस खरीदती हूँ. Good, good. He will be very happy. Oh no, but I don't have money. Second problem, how to solve this? Oh yeah, I have such a beautiful hair. अगर मैं ये विग वाले को बेचूंगी तो बहुत सारे पैसे मिलेंगे. बट माई हेयर, माई हस्बैंड इवन लव माई हेयर. वॉट शुड आई डू? हस्बैंड और हेयर, हस्बैंड हेयर. ओ गॉड हेल्प मी. नो, आई शुड गो विथ माई हस्बैंड. एनी वेज आई एम नॉट दिस बॉडी. गुड गुड. आई गिव दिस हेयर टू विग वाला, राइट.
Wife,
Where's my wife?
Oh, I'm here.
I'm sorry. Today I forgot to give you gift.
It's okay.
She's so sweet. Okay, I have got something for you.
Even I have something for you.
Wow. This is hair products and hair clip for you for your long beautiful hair. What happened?
No, thank you. And this is for you, a guitar case.
Guitar case.
Yeah,
Thank you.
same to you. Actually, you know what?
What?
To buy this guitar case, I have sold my hair to Wigwala.
What?
No use of this. But anyways, thank you.
And to get this for you, I sold my guitar.
Oh,
Now,
she.
So we saw how this exemplary husband and wife are willing to sacrifice what is very dear to them to make their partner happy. And actually in making their partner happy, they experienced happiness. Because in making others happy, we experience happiness. And then there is no question of scarcity. Because that love and happiness fills our heart and then we can be happy. So there are thousands of stories, but we don't have time. So I will not tell all those stories. But we have to make an effort to exemplify these qualities in our own life so that we can give a solution to the scarcity problem in the world. It's said that if you are not part of the solution, then you are part of the problem. So we see there is scarcity everywhere. So what can we do to help? One thing is we can imbibe this quality of sacrificing and sharing and giving to others so that we can create joy in others' lives. And when we give joy to others, we will experience that we feel very happy ourselves. Then we will not get disturbed by scarcity in our own life. Because giving in charity is one of the responsibility of a grahastha, of a householder. In all religions, in Christianity, in Islam, everywhere, charity is encouraged. Secondly, we can get the knowledge from the scriptures which helps us to understand these principles and live a life based on these principles of simple living and high thinking. If we read and if we hear from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and hear about wonderful devotees who have lived their life based on these principles of giving to others, because in giving we receive. And third, by sharing this knowledge with others. Because when we know how to be happy, then we must share it with others. How to be happy, how to solve this scarcity problem. Srila Prabhupada once said that there was a boy who was hungry, thirsty, crying, he didn't have clothes. Somebody came and gave him clothes. Somebody came and gave him food. Somebody came and gave him shelter. But then one man came along and said, "Oh, you are Mr. Tata's son. What are you doing here? Starving. Come, I'll take you to your father." So when he went to his father, all his problems were solved. Similarly, when we get connected to our Father, Krishna, then all our problems will be solved. And when our problems start getting solved, then we want to solve other people's problems. So how do we do that? By connecting others to the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada did this. He went to the West and he preached to the hippies. The hippies were young American boys and girls who came from very affluent families. They were very rich, but they were just fed up of the materialistic, selfish culture that was prevailing at that time, and they just rejected that entire culture. They rejected the society and they became hippies. But Prabhupada came, he gave a new meaning to their life. He gave substance to their life by teaching them that Krishna is the Lord. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram surida sarva bhutanam gyatma mam shantim richati. Prabhupada called this the peace formula. That if you really want to be peaceful, If you really want to be free from this scarcity mindset or scarcity syndrome, then you must accept that the Lord is the supreme proprietor, He is the supreme enjoyer, He is the maintainer of all living entities, and He is the best friend of all living entities. And when we understand this principle and accept it in our lives, then we can be happy. Then we can be free from that fever. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he said, here we have Gaur Nitai, Nityananda and Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came and said, Enechi aushadhi maya nashi bare lagi, Hari Nama Mahamantra lao tumi magi. That we are all suffering from this fever. And if you want to be free from this fever, what is the medicine? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So please absorb this knowledge in your own life and give it to others. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.